We pray that as we open our minds to hear this discussion and to participate in it, that indeed it shall be fruitful, that many persons will understand more of who they are so that we might honor you more meaningfully. Pray for Dr. Denise, pray for Dr. Wutan, pray for the entire program and those who are coming, that indeed your name will be glorified. Thank you, Lord. And we ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen.
Guys, are you hearing me? Are you seeing me?
We can hear you now, and we can see your screen. Go ahead.
Yes, I think I lost Clive there for a minute. My system is acting up our internet right now because we're in a lot of rain. So I'm hoping if you don't hear me, Dr. Rutan, just let me know. So as you see, we are going to talk today about beyond pleasure, the microbiome. Please feel free to interject into here if you're not seeing Dr. Rutan or any one of you in the call. Thanks. So what it is we are talking about tonight, beyond pleasure with your microbiome. I wanted to talk a little bit. I was kind of implementing how the female aspect works in terms of pleasure and the male aspect works in terms of pleasure. But I am going to do a twist to this tonight in understanding the microbiome, because for many of you, it might be new to you as what is our microbiome? What do we do? What is it telling us? How does it affect us? And we have Master Clive on, who does a phenomenal explanation of the microbiome, and I would like him to shine in a little bit in the meeting. I will call upon him to speak to us, because introducing our microbiome is who we are, what governs our body, and what makes us the tangible look of ourselves as a human, which we are being, but a human being. So what if there were scientific solutions that could wipe out your deepest fears of falling ill, receiving a life-threatening diagnosis, or feeling the effects of aging? In a world full of fear and uncertainty about our health, it can be difficult to know where to turn for actionable advice you can trust. Now, I don't know if it is happening in your neck of the woods, but around the world today and in our healthcare system. Now, I love our healthcare system. I'm part of the system, but we do have our wars. And what we are seeing happening is that there is a point now where we cannot correct certain issues that we are feeling and generating in our body today. And due to these sort of conditions that we are facing, through science and technology has taken on a different level in the way we understand how our body degenerate and regenerate itself. Now, in long time days, we hear about good bacteria and bad bacteria, but the actual name for those bacteria are called your microbiome. And here's what is interesting. Your microbiome is your genetic material, all right, of all the microbes in your body. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, virus, that all these live inside of us, in our bodies. And here's the next step to this. One person's microbiome is 200 times the number of genes in the genome. What is your genome? Your genome has the genetic instructions and information needed to build and maintain that organism. And those organisms in turn has its own signal to organs in your body to regenerate or degenerate. And guess what? The onus is up to you as to how you feed your microbiome, if you want it to regenerate itself or degenerate itself. So what it is saying, that you as a being has the information to destroy your body or regenerate your body. All right? We understand we have trillions of these microbial organs living in our body on the surface of our human body. They are found in the gut, brain, air, skin, nose, the oral, gastrointestinal, respiratory, urinary, vaginal tracts, and the bloodstream. And all these contribute, all these genetic bacteria that we are made with contribute to our human survival than the actual genes in your body. So such genes, the human microbiome, are, for example, pivotal to the process of your aging, digestion, the immune system, the modulation of your central nervous system, the way your body moves, cognitive ability, your moods, and everything. Your microbiome governs that. And without it, you cannot and will not function. So looking at these microscopic beings that live inside our body, all right? Trillions of these microorganisms are engineered, and they play a key role in promoting your daily operations of your human body. All right? It was originally determined that once DNA, first exposed to these microorganisms, starts from birthing. But that's a fact. That's the truth. In humans, the composition of your gastrointestinal microbiome is established during birth. Birth by C-section or vaginal delivery influence the gut's microbial composition. So babies born through the vaginal canal has non-pathogenic beneficial gut microbiota similar to those found in the mother. But vaginal birthing baby will be found with its microbial composition, and that in turn, now this is a time for another subject, but this is just the insemination of how your microbiome starts from birth and gets all its signals through its mother, the vaginal canal. A C-section baby will get the microbial composition from the clinic itself, because as taken out, they will take them to the nursery and they will start doing their cleaning, and they will get those microbes from that environment. When a baby is born through vaginal birthing, you notice the head turns as it comes out and scrapes through all the mucus in the mommy's vaginal canal, and there's where his microbiome and microbiota starts absorbing in his skin for growth as in its early years. So its immune system starts to build from there. And those will be different subjects and topics we'll be talking about later down. But I want you to understand that how important your microbiome is. As we were talking earlier, development of immunity and nutrition. And these bacteria are non-invaders, but beneficial colonizers to us. Autoimmune diseases such as diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, neurological conditions such as spinal cord injury, gynecological conditions, certain meds, antidepressant, high blood pressure, etc. medication are associated with the dysfunction of your microbiome. Folks, we don't understand how important our microbiome is, how important it is for our biological system, our 10 biological system that governs our body in terms of digestion, reproduction, metabolizing, repair, growth, activation of our stem cells. All right. We are at great risk because we are destroying our microbiome every day, every second of the day. I speak with passion because I see people every day come into my office and I have to do a blood test. I have to do an MRI scan and I can see the degeneration of an organ. Medical doctors are coming up dead ends now because the antibiotics no longer works. The high blood pressure tablet, they become immune because why? We have killed the receptors and the regulators of the instructions in our microbiome to send these instructions to different parts of our body, organs, liver, pancreas, spleen, gallbladder, just to name a few, that helps in metabolizing. They always say a dis-ease, not a disease, a dis-ease starts from the gut. The gut has all its coding and signals, which is in the microbiome to do repair, recovery, and restoration when it comes to a body that has gone ill. And we see our body speaks to us. It tells us what is happening. But you know what? We don't take note. We don't take note. And when it goes out of balance, it becomes harmful to the environment with which it lives in. And how that happens, when these pathogens enter into our body, it brings on infectious illnesses. Certain diets we eat causes these illnesses, and also prolonged use of antibiotics and other bacteria destroying medications brings about something called dysbiosis in our body and makes us, dysbiosis means imbalance into our system. So our system cannot regulate what is needed for our body to become well. So as a result, we will become more susceptible to diseases within our system. It is going to break down the immune system because our microbiota is engineered to stimulate the immune system. All right. And if we are absorbing unhealthy, all right, and these unhealthy foods are causing a breakdown within our large intestines, we are going to have trouble because we are not going to be able to do metabolizing our lipids, sucrase, amylase, and all of these fancy amino acids and enzymes that regulate the human body and for digestion and metabolism, it's not going to happen. And guess what's going to happen? On these, when these foods that we eat become fermenting in our gut, here's what's going to happen. We cannot prevent certain chronic diseases like cancers, bowel disorders, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease. And folks, this is not something we make up. This is, actually everybody likes to Google. So you can Google it and actually see this information that I'm sharing with you, because they are coming out now boldface in talking about our microbiome. 25 years ago, I have been doing integrative medicine, and I can tell you, we have spoke about the microbiome. If Master Clive is on, we would have these conversations, and I was telling him that has been our language. That's his language. We speak it. Dr. Ruthan and some of those of you who are on the call tonight, who have been in on our sessions, and that's our language. Because if our microbiome is not intact, we are going definitely to die. We are destroying our body every second of the day. You wonder why you foot swelling, the doctor telling you high blood pressure, the doctor telling you kidneys, the doctor telling you your heart is enlarged, and all of these things is because we have destroyed our microbiome in our body. And now when we try to put medication into it, it causing a disruption in our system and almost to the point of bringing death to a human body. And when we talk about supplementations, we talk about, okay, the foods that we need to help the system now. And guess what? I think I jumped in the gun a little bit, but as I'm on it, when persons start to take, or we are recommended, we recommend certain things to the loved ones that we see ill, and we want to help, and we have the information to help. You know what happens? After 40 something years in the desert of unhealthy and in the wilderness of trying to survive and live, after they try every possible thing that they can, and you with your soft heart and you want to help them, tell them, okay, use this. They want you to actually explain. And then you have to get your doctorate now to explain a simple antioxidant. Try this, drink it, see how your body is going to feel. Because you are giving them nutrition, you are giving them food. And here's what? They want a 24-hour relief. After 40 years of having an illness in its body, they want miracles in 24 hours. I believe in miracles, I believe in a God that performs miracles. But when a body is degenerated, it needs this time to start repairing and sending the signals back to the cells, which has been so distorted that it don't even know how to produce a correct signaling to the immune system to send it to a stressed liver or a stressed kidney. So we have to really take responsibility to our bodies and to ourselves. Because when these bacteria breaks down, those bacteria is what gives the body the protection to fight against pathogenic organisms in our body that hits our body daily, from the foods we eat, from contaminated drinking, and all these processed high foods and sugars and so forth. I listened to Master Clive sessions gone by and Dr. Rutan, and they will, laboriously bent on the sugars we are eating and how it is destroying the mucous membranes of the gut so that there is no immunity left to produce and help the systems. It will bring about proteins that is not required in certain areas. When mass production of proteins, they call it, sometimes we get mass production of cytokines. I mean, I'm not making I'll explain breakdown when there's an overproduction so that inflammation will become high and it can eventually kill you. It's a life and death situation. So we have to understand what the body needs and why we need to put it in, because when the microbiome is disrupted, these are what is going to happen. You've seen it on the screen here. Physical and emotional conditions. Persons are just, short-tempered, aggressive, until to a point to kill, because it affects the chemical imbalance in the brain. All right, your neurotransmitters go off key. Multiple sclerosis start taking place. Lupus start taking place because the body is not there. Certain types of cancers start to degenerate the system. Osteochondrosis, chronic, all right? Breaking down the nerves, the nerve endings in the spinal column, degenerating your synovial liquid that goes around your joints and bones, causing the pain. They give you a fancy word, arthritis, degeneration of the blood vessels, atherosclerosis, which simply means that you need what strengthens those veins, bring back cartilage in your body, antioxidants, phytonutrients, green foods, colored foods, vitamin C levels, your minerals, magnesium, zinc, potassium, copper. It coming back to you now. You've been hearing these words before. All right. It will start to repair the body. Mental health, anxiety, body image issues, depression, stress, low self-esteem, past sexual or physical abuse. All these affects your microbiome. And when these problems start to arise, we label them as chronic diseases, which is just a dis-ease within the human microbiome. I tell persons, I've studied orthomolecular medicine, and I've told persons it's 98% nutrition and 2% genetic. I came from a line of cardiovascular family members. And I will tell you, I am in my early 50s and I don't have cardiovascular issues. Thank God that I have reborn. I took off everything that was programmed into me and I reprogrammed my mind to health and to what foods we need to help the body. You might come from a lineage of cancer. You might come from a lineage of anything chronic, diabetes, cardiovascular, high blood pressure, all of these things, but that don't make you have to be suffering from that. It is not in your genes. It's not genetics. It's what you put in your body, because we have this coming from a background of part Indian in my background and other ethnicity groups. We tend to cook with a lot of oils. We tend to eat highly, greasy foods, a lot of white flour and all of these things. But when you evolve and you see what is happening and this is what has been causing the body to go, is what you eat is who you are, So if you start eating properly, you start following a certain diet, you realize, okay, this is what has been happening in the family, you start changing. And I know many people, when they reach to a point that the clinical system doesn't help you anymore. And I mean, I'm part of the clinical as well as I'm married to integrative. I can tell you that you start looking at something different because you have a whole bag of prescribed meds that is like you become a pharmacy now, and you are saying, oh gosh, you now become tired of taking the pills for the ills, as Master Clive would say. You know, you're tired because, oh my gosh, I have to remember to take this after lunch. I have to take this before lunch. I have to take it, you know, and so you're going. And so then you reach a point, I'm tired. I'm just not taking it anymore. You make a little juice, you eat something green, you eat something that you never even felt you know you wanted to eat. And then the next day you have a little, you know, a little bit of energy. What is it? It means that the body needs these nutrition in our system, you know. So Dr. Alan Walker, a professor from nutrition at Harvard Chan School of Public Health, you know, he said there are specific situations where probiotic supplements may be helpful. Now the microbiome is now going to be on the tongues of everybody. It's going to be the talk now. It's going to score, because that is where the human health is going to be reprogrammed into understanding what we need for our body. And I didn't say it. Dr. Walker said it. He said probiotics can be most effective at both ends of the age spectrum, because that's when your microbes aren't as robust as they normally are. He explains you can influence this huge bacterial colonization process more effectively with probiotics during these periods. He also notes situations of stress to the body where probiotics may be helpful, such as reducing severity of diarrhea and exposure to pathogens, or just replenishing your normal bacteria in the intestine. Do you know that the intestines hold the codes for all the bacteria that governs the entire body and organ system? Yes, we are not talking like if we AI now. Every programming of regulating cells, T cells, CD4 cells, antibodies, which is called your immunoglobulin index. Many of you will have to take that type of test to see what is happening with your body. And guess what? They have labels to them. The I immunoglobulin G is the microbes that recognize and deal with cells that has gone degenerated within the body. The M is the expert at killing bacteria. All right. The A congregates in fluid. When the body starts to, you start to see inflammation rises into the body. The E protects against parasites and also allergies. The D, B lymphocytes, helping with the immune system, cancer cells, all these chronic cells that comes into our system. So all of these signals and regulators that goes on in your body at a split second is what working for you. And guess what we are doing? We are feeding them, thinking that we are feeding health, and we are actually destroying it by eating processed foods, dairy, and all of these high sugars that is just destroying the human microbiome. All right. So there is a disruption in our system, and we have to start feeding our microbiota with the right foods and be aware, because high intake of prebiotics, we talk about probiotics, is for life, to help the body digest and bring the colonies back into order. So prebiotics is what works to help to decrease flatulence in the body, people who feel bloated, gastrointestinal sensitivities and all of that. So we have to now introduce these healthy foods back into our body. And when we do, we are going to have a beautiful and healthy body which can fight. Our T cells will start to work. Our natural killer cells, I call them, or nuke cells, will start to help go against the viral infection, especially cancer cells in our bodies. I love to talk cancer because it's one of the main conditions. I wouldn't even say disease, conditions I have to deal with every day. And they are very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? They love to hide in your body. They love to hide deep tissue in your body. So we have to, many of these things that goes on in our system, we have to get deep down into the immune system, deep down into these T cells, lymph nodes. It might be, juggling your memory, things that might be happening to you. Now you're understanding why these things are causing high inflammatory issues in the system. So we need to understand the framework and the factors that influence our microbiome. And when we find that out, as we are doing these sessions every Sunday, we will understand the extent of the problems that we are occurring in our body, and we are able to know how to deal with it and to help correct these not diseases, but diseases within the body. So Thomas Edison said, the doctor of the future will no longer treat the human frame with drugs, but rather will cure and prevent disease with nutrition. He said it. I didn't. What happened here? Dr. Lyndon Smith said, and he is a MD in our time, 20th century, said, modern drugs and vaccines have proven to be a hoax in attaining health. They have brought false hopes. The vaccinations are not working and they are dangerous. We should be working with nature. I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seeds, to you it shall be food. All right, so let's take notes. That's the origin where God said that he's going to cure, he's going to correct, he's going to reverse. That is what we need. So what is molecular medicine? Health. This should be your prescription. It means the treatment of diseases of the optimal molecular environment. So when we eat, folks, we eat for our cells. We don't eat for our body. We eat for the molecular part of our cells. The cells that does its work. In your blood profile, when you do your blood, there are different cultures, colonies in your blood. And when you put certain types of foods in there, guess what happens? They start to work as army now. Wow, this is coming in. This going to your section. This nutrient is coming in. This going to your section. That nutrient is coming. This going to my section to start to fight inflammation. T cells, CD4 cells, your irregulator cells, your IgL cells, immunoglobulin index cells. All of these are going into their special cultures to start working for your body. Okay? To bring it to optimal health. But today, many systems of health and disease treatment based on the vision and insight of people like Hippocrates and Pauline, we just spoke about them. All right? Let nutrition be your food. A healthy, balanced diet should look like this. Vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, phytochemicals, and more enriched, which enriches the body internal environment to fortify at cellular protection, repair, and regeneration, and support the renewal process. We are renewing every day, but because we have eaten so much of gunk and junk, we have destroyed ourselves to a point where the body is not understanding its signals to do what is required in the cells. So they are confused. So we have to try to bring balance to the confused cells. Prescription medicines causes all of these side effects. Allergic reactions, skin rashes. Sometimes you take a medication for a certain condition and it actually brings on the condition more. All right. Now, I'm not saying that you don't take prescribed meds or antibiotics. Sometimes in certain conditions, we need to take it to help a condition which has gone out of balance. But when the body gets itself into homeostasis, we can now treat with supplementation so that it will not occur again. Because sometimes the body goes so deep into whatever the condition is that it might be a life and death situation to help the individual. It's like they say, if you get a broken arm, you wouldn't go to an herbs person. You will go to a medical doctor to set your arm, right? So within reason, of course, we have to always use intelligence when it comes to that. So, you understand what the body needs. And if you are feeding the microbiome to maintain a stable environment when homeostasis takes in, it must be maintained, or else everything is going to go out of balance in your body. So it is important that we actually feed our microbiome. Our pH levels supposed to be a balance between acidity and alkalinity by the foods that we eat, the color foods that we eat, colored foods, foods of the rainbow. All right. We have to understand that these bacteria guarantees our lifespan. And if we destroy it, don't want to go technical tonight, but I just want to, because I know there are new persons on this call tonight, and I want to have some question and answers at the end. It may not be, some things might go over your head, but what we must understand that if these microbiota and microbes in our body do not get right nutrition or proper nutrition, we are going to be destroyed by diseases that they have not even labeled a name yet, because the environment is bringing on certain types of diseases. Mental issues are happening now more prevalent than ever. We have gone through a stage of dormancy when COVID was around. One of the doctors said that through COVID, we have seen how badly our global health has degenerated because people are not eating healthy. And that is out of the American Journal. They said COVID has shown them how unhealthy people are. So if we see a twist to that, maybe you might have, I don't even want to go there because they have the whole conspiracies of things, but we are just sharing tonight. So I just want you guys to know how important our microbiome is. Love it up, kiss it up, feed it, caress it, cuddle it. It is what gives us our life. It is what helps us to bombard against chronic diseases within our body. Diseases that doesn't even have medication to correct. I am seeing things are coming out here that, as I said before, they don't even have a label or a name yet for it. They're only doing studies and studies, and you're going back and forth in tests and tests and tests until you get tired of injections, of needles. Haven't we get tired of being lied to at some point? And here we have pioneers blazing the trail, helping each other, talking about nutrition, your microbiome, and where we need to be when it comes to our health and wellness. So as the great mind said, we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. We have to go on a higher level. And this is where we are at this point in time. I have been exposed to AI technology. It is, your microbiome is AI inside of you. Long gone are the days when you have to wait for someone to die to get a kidney or to get a heart or a liver transplant. We can download your genetic coding and create these organs in your body to live. Now, we are not saying that we're going to make you a android, or we're going to make you half human, half robot. No, the technology is here. It has been around for a long time now, but it has now reached our side of the earth, of the world. So we got to take note. We are a being. We are out of this world. Our cosmic situation, our cosmic, divine, cosmic self is who we are. And we need to understand that if we don't feed our microbiome the foods that it needs back, we have to go back to Eden. We are going to be a destruction and destruct ourselves. We are actually self-destructing. Nobody is destructing us, and killing us. So the information is out there, and we just need to plug in to the information. In other sessions, we're going to go much deeper into it. So tonight, I just want to leave it to the floor back over to you, Dr. Rutan, if we want to just do some questionnaires, some answers, some anything that you're not clear on, or you want to ask questions on your health and so forth. We have ample persons here in the room. If Master Clive is on, I would like him to share in a little bit tonight as well. Back over to you, Dr. Rutan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Denise. Wow, as always, presentation was simply amazing. And, for those that didn't hear, I heard it loud and clear. It's what we put in that counts, But Kohan Baker, I see your mic is unmuted. Do you have a question?
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for the presentation. Great information. I just want to ask a question. So I have a lot of clients who have kidney issues. They're on dialysis. How much could this Love Biome product, this we call it the balance help them with their kidney issues?
All right, we didn't really share anything of supplementations, but I'm happy that you called, because everybody is on here who is into the supplements. It is going to help in the sense of kidney issues, and you said they're on dialysis.
Right, they're on dialysis. How could my product help them?
Okay, the dialysis is really to flush out the excess uric acid in the system. So what the supplements will do, it will regulate their potassium, their proteins, because the proteins is what degenerate the nephrons in the which is the filters in the kidneys. So that goes hand in hand with blood circulation as well as filtration. So it goes side by side. So we have to look at, in terms of antioxidants, as the formulation has. So they have to, if they're on that, they cannot take that product like in how it is dosage. They have to take like 3 ounces of that 3 times a day to start doing its work to break down, because what is going to happen, it can be enlarged, it can be, have all these blood not filtering, the interstitial tissues being damaged. So we have to regulate that it will start to regulate the metabolism part of the body, because it's full of super antioxidants in there, all that the body needs to do cellular repair.
So just want to finalize. So would you say that the daily 3 would be good for those patients also?
Oh yes, because one will reverse, one will be detoxing at the same time, and one will be energizing the body. and giving back nutrition to the system. So the complete course is what is going to work for that individual and anybody else in who has issues.
Okay. And it help that, and you're saying that just want to ask another, does it help diabetics the same way?
Oh yes, because diabetes is really a irregularity of how the pancreas is producing its insulin. And also, sometimes somebody's pancreas might be very healthy, but here's what: pancreas, gallbladder, and spleen and liver work hand in hand for metabolizing that. So here's what happens. Most time the pancreas is working, but we just say insulin resistant. It's either it's type 1 or type 2. There is no in between. So once insulin resistant, it means that the gallbladder is having an issue. So fatty lipids are starting to build up in the gallbladder, which is the good fats. So what we have to do, we have to start breaking those down. So the phytochemicals, phytonutrients, and the pre, pro, and postbiotics in the formulations is going to do that, where foods that they are eating is not giving them that sort of nutrition to work that. So it will regulate the sugars in the bloodstream and break down the carbs, because carbs are what stores around the waistline, the belly button line. And that is what stores there that causes called adipose tissue, which is the brown fats in the body. And you may not, people say, oh, I eat sugars and I get diabetes. No, it's your carbs that stores when the body don't metabolize amino acids and enzyme function. So once that starts to work that in the system, it will start to regulate itself. As according to where the body is at, it will just be, we look at it 90 days for some sort of something to start to see in the body. It can even happen earlier than 90 days. But because of, we have to look at the diet, we have to look at if they are a little overweight, we have all of these factors we have to take into consideration until the body gets where it needs to be. I hope that answers your question. Hello?
He's there, but he's muted again.
Oh.
Mr. Cohen?
Hold on.
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear
Hear
you.
me now?
Yes.
So I had a slight, since I started my daily 3, I had a slight blood sugar issue where my blood sugar was going 9, 11, 9, those readings. And since I started taking the daily 3, yes, my diet has been adjusted. I take it with other supplements, but this morning I actually went to my doctor. Well, yesterday I went to my doctor and he measured me and my blood sugar was like 4. So it's really working for me personally.
Lovely. And what you might find happening when persons start to take supplements on the whole, especially antioxidants and phytonutrients, what is going to happen? A chemical reaction will start to take place in the system. So you might get a spike or you might get a low. Now, the spike is not something to be alarmed with. The spike only happens when there's too much overload in the bloodstream. So the lymphatic system now is fighting to clean it out. So that's a good sign. It is not a bad sign. Over a period of days, it is going to regulate itself. All you do is drink lots of water to help flush the system out. Are you there? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much for the information. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Dr. Rutan?
Barbara has a question.
Yes, good afternoon to all. I'm calling from the Bahamas. I have, my question is about asthma. What could someone, I have a daughter who was attacking with asthma.
Mm-hmm.
What could she use?
All right. I don't know who invited you, Barbara, but you can go back to the person who invited you to this session because they will be able to explain a line of supplements that we are using. But in terms of asthma is really allergy that comes about when the bronchiole, the lungs is not able to have enough oxygen flowing through there. Now, if the child has had asthma for some time, I would suggest take her off dairy products, anything most like milky cheese, white flour, white foods, anything of that nature, because
Okay.
that could be an imbalance with the immune system and her T cells regulators. So we have to look at certain things. It could come about by flus. It could have come about to start certain things, but it is just, I need to know more about the situation, which I would not be able to do on a call, but maybe privately. But again, get back to the person who invited you to the meeting, and then we can have that, private talk as well. Because a lot of things can bring about asthma in a person.
Oh, so you cannot say which one, if she could start using Balage or
Yeah, the Balage would actually help
Yes.
her with the asthma.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Anyone else?
Nobody else unmuting their mic.
Well, I guess we were a good explanator of things, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Is Master Clive on? I need you to shine in, my dear.
Dr. Clive Campbell, are you there?
Oh, hi. Most certainly. Yeah, great job as usual, Dr. Denise. Appreciate you sharing the way that you have with the passion. And this is what is going to save people's lives.
Yes.
We are seeing too many persons dying too early, aging too fast, and suffering more than they want to and they need to. And the band-aid approach of the medical system is no longer able to hold because people are getting smarter, they're getting wiser. And they are asking questions of the medical system that the medical systems can't give answers to. And we are told that 80% of the people that goes to the medical system does not get the solutions they are looking for. That is frightening because they are barking up the wrong tree.
Yes.
Trying to solve problems without the aid of the gut microbiome. But we have been enlightened and we can now live a better quality of life in terms of how long we live and how well we live. It's a new day for mankind.
Yes.
Yes. As a matter of fact, the great Daniel Vitalis said, our understanding of the gut microbiome will overturn everything we think we know about health, about medicine, and about nutrition.
That's right.
And that is what we are now experiencing. Some revolution, disruption is taking place. And for the first time, the professor, the scientist, the doctor, and the average student are in the same class. We are all learning about the microbiome at the same time.
Yes.
And what is interesting, Dr. Denise and Dr. Rutan, is that the lay person may be ahead of his doctor. That is frightening. Because, for example, somebody is a gastroenterologist. He's still practicing old school.
Yes.
He is treating the patient, not knowing that the patient have a brain, a microbial brain in the gut. But the patient is now aware. And they are no longer very satisfied with what the traditional system is trying to share with us. So is that there's a disruption. And what I find interesting is that we get to be the ones that tell people the story.
Yes.
There's a Dr. Edeas that says, if we are going to help people, what should we do? Tell them the truth.
Truth. Yes.
Right, Dr. Rutan? we have to tell people the truth.
Yep.
And what it's suggesting is that people are not currently being told the truth.
Hmm.
And I like that quotation that you gave, Dr. Denise. I need to ask you to help me to get it. Trying to remember it, but I think I'll get it when I talk to you. I'll try and get it from you. But there is a change in terms of how people take care of their health. And going forward, people now have the power. The power is back in the hands of individuals.
Yes.
Take charge, Dr. Denise, of
Yes.
their own health.
That's right.
Yeah. So I don't want to talk too much, but we are at a place we have never been before. And people, I was at a function on Thursday, and about 50 persons were there, and they were hearing about the gut microbiome for the first time.
Hmm.
These persons are not young. They are varying age, going up to about 70 or thereabout. And they're just hearing that they have a brain in the gut and the composition of it, and now they have a better understanding
Yes.
of how to take care. Because if you take care of the microbiome, invariably, you're taking better care of yourself.
That's right.
And therefore, you won't get sick as often, you won't die as early, and you will enjoy a better quality life. And that is what I like about the information coming through the system about the gut microbiome. So I hand it over back to you, ladies.
Wow. Awesome as always.
Uh,
Perlette, you have your hand up?
Hello, good night. I just want to find out if these products can be taken in conjunction with the Sankey products, or do we switch out, or can we switch out one over the other?
All right. I just want to make a little clarity on this session tonight. What this session is about is really to inform you of the gut microbiome, on the microbiome on the whole. So we didn't really specific of supplements. As I said earlier, get back to the person who has invited you to the meeting, and we'll have that consultation. All right? Because all supplements are recommended to work different types of different conditions within the body to get it where it needs to be. So these sessions are not to actually specify on a certain product line, but the person who invited you to the session, we can have that conversation on a private note. I just wanted to clarify that in the room. Okay, hon?
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yes. What we are doing is really, understanding the body, and any, if you want questions from a medical standpoint, integrative standpoint, to, certain things, and we can work on that in conversations privately.
If I may comment again, Dr. Denise and
Yes.
Dr. Rutan, I've listened to a Dr. Gundry, and he has studied the microbiome for years now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a doctor who is a cardiologist.
Yes.
That personally, he has opened the chest of 10,000 persons to fix their heart or some blockage in some blood vessels, put in some stent or some pacemaker or something like that.
Yes.
And he is now telling us that the microbiome is at the center of human health.
That's correct.
The microbiome is in charge. There's two different statements now. The microbiome is at the center of human health. By the time you wrap your head around that, the microbiome is in charge.
Yeah.
Not human cells, not human biology, not human tissue is in charge of human health. It is microbes.
Yes.
So you have to look at microbes differently. This guy is the minister of health. So when you knock on the door that marks minister of health and you look sitting on the desk, they are microbes.
Yes.
They are the ones in charge of human health. And what he said is that when you eat fiber, not only does the bacteria make short chain fatty acids like butyrate, acetate, and propionate. It makes these gases.
Yes.
Nitric oxide. What does nitric oxide do? It's a
Open up
vasodilator.
cardiovascular flow.
It allows the blood vessels to open up. So it is your
Yes.
bacteria that is doing that.
Hmm.
Then in addition to that, your microbiome send these messages to your mitochondria in your cell. Now,
Correct.
here's what is fascinating. Microbes surround you like a cloud. Microbes live on your skin like a second skin. Microbes live in every organ and orifice of your body. And when you go inside of your cell, you see microbes in there in the form of the mitochondria.
Yes.
What the microbiome does, it sends messages to the mitochondria to tell it to make energy and to tell it how much energy to make. Tone it down or turn it up. Then is this a small thing?
Yes.
It's a message to your DNA to give it instruction. It sends messages to your brain to tell it what kind of mood the body is supposed to be in.
Yes.
This is not small. This is not small. How did medicine miss this?
They didn't miss
Are
it,
they
they know it.
What are they treating us as?
Yeah, they know it.
Oh boy. Take it over, please, my friend. Take it over.
Well, if that's all we have tonight, Dr. Rutan, we'll give it a wrap. Anybody who wants to talk about anything concerning an issue, we can answer that from a clinical standpoint. But if no questions, we will take it on a private calls after with each individual, and you can reach us. You can reach me through Dr. Rutan. Your people can reach me through Dr. Clive. And I saw Boss King. I need Boss King to shine in a bit. Dr. Clive, Boss King.
Yes, so Owen, I don't know if he's multitasking or he can speak.
Yeah, he's probably, if
The
he's
boss.
not.
He's unmuted. He unmuted himself just now. He's there.
Hey guys, very good meeting, very good, awesome. I'm just basking in the information. A good friend of mine says what we need is more information than medication, so I'm just soaking in the information. I won't go to my medicine chest tonight. I will take the information.
So you basking, you have some sunlight on your end.
Yeah, man, I have some sunlight on my end.
Love to hear you, love to hear you.
Good to hear you guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing. So Dr. Rutan, if that's a wrap, let's close and pray. And
Well, definitely. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming on. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the information that was given to us tonight. And like Boss King said, he's taking this information instead of his medication tonight. And so, Father, we ask that we continue to be able to get information and act upon it and allow us to just grow and allow us to understand and have more understanding than we did before. I ask it in your precious name. Amen.
amen. Good night.
Have a great
all.
night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on. And like you said, Dr. Denise, we'll be here next week for more
Yes.
information. More information just to share with you. Have a great night, guys.
Good night. Good night. Dr. Root, I will call you.
Okay, Miss Barbara, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, lovey.
Bye.
Bye.